Cody, camp has just started, so we really won't know really anything unless we have any updates coming out of camp, unless we have anything reported. We don't even have any clips yet. We only have pictures. NFL's training camp has started. So like really we're just gonna take a look to tonight's show is gonna be a look at more of the national landscape with a few Cyclone news updates and maybe look at some training camp updates from our fellow Cyclones who just got drafted in this year's draft.
Yep. All right. So, first of all, 22 Iowa State Cyclones have been named to training camps. So here's the following list of the Cyclones that are in training camp. Representing the New York Jets will be Brees Hall, Alan Lazard, Will McDonald, and Kene Nwangwu. Representing the Baltimore Ravens will be Jake Hummel, Charlie Kohler, and TJ Tampa. Representing the Houston Texans will be Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, and Xavier Hutchinson. Representing the Detroit Lions will be David Montgomery. Jalen Travis will be representing the Indianapolis Colts. Steve Klotz and Miles Purchase will be training with the LA Chargers. And Uwazurike will be training with the Broncos. Jared Hufford and Darian Porter will be training with the Las Vegas Raiders. Julian Good-Jones and Ben Nickel will be the Washington Commanders. Brock Purdy will once again look to be the starting quarterback at the San Francisco 49ers. Bleav Verdon will be with the Atlanta Falcons, and J.R. Singleton will be with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, one name that isn't mentioned on here, but I have seen is former Iowa State basketball player converted to tight end Michael Jacobson will be training with the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, thank you for that update, Cody, with the NFL training camp updates. Now, I know there is something else that we were talking about pre-show that I also found interesting earlier. Three had a Donald Trump article about NIL. If you want to share your screen, let's talk about that and really dive deep into that. I found that interesting.
Yeah, this comes off the heels of a executive order signed by the current president, Donald Trump. He signed uh, an executive order earlier today that will prohibit third-party pay-for-play payments and directs the Secretary of Labor and the National Labor Relations Board to clarify athletes are amateurs and not employees, the White House announced. So basically, what this article is saying is, in summary, it's going to prohibit the pay-for-play payments that you might have seen a lot in the Wild West, that is the NIL world, and to clarify that student athletes are still going to be considered amateur players rather than professionals. So that's two of the main headlines that will be taken out of this executive order. President Charlie Baker said that the NCAA is making positive changes for student athletes and confronting many challenges facing college sports by mandating health and wellness benefits and guaranteeing scholarships. But there are some threats to college sports that federal legislation can effectively address, and the association is advocating with student athletes and their schools for a bipartisan solution with Congress and the administration. Now, I did see a third talking point with this whole thing mandating health wellness benefits and guaranteeing scholarships, that this should be able to save women's sports and non-revenue sports, because I know with the new NIL deal and whatever, the House settlement, that was going to hamper a lot more of the non-revenue sports. It was going to really only benefit football and men's basketball in a lot of cases. So this is a huge legislative bill, executive order that will basically keep the non-revenue sports and many women's sports alive, and especially the women's sports being kept afloat is important because of the growth of obviously women's basketball, just with the star power that you have there, and I mean there's still women's volleyball. That's another huge sport for many colleges. So this is a huge bill that can save those sports and a lot of the other non-revenue sports that will keep scholarships available for a lot of these student athletes who are playing at D1 right now, and will keep their chances afloat of continuing to play at the Division 1 in the college level.
All right. And thank you for that update.